Have you ever wondered if you're ready to start making money as a property deal sourcer? Well, over the last 11 months, I've been helping people start and launch property deal sourcing businesses and giving them access to my investor list to pitch their deals to. And some have gone on to absolutely smash it. However, some have not done so well. But the bonus of this is I've now got all the signs of what happens when people are not doing so well in the journey. And there's two major signs that you need to look out for in your journey to see if you're ready to sell deals. And in this video, we're going to cover those two things. And I'll also share with you the steps you need to take to overcome it and sell that very first deal. But before we do that, we need to discover where you are as a salesperson, because what a lot of online gurus fail to mention is deal sourcing is a sales business and you need to be a salesperson to be able to sell deals. Surprise, surprise, shock, horror. And if you've never ever sold a pen before, expecting to jump on and sell a property deal for £4,000, £5,000, £6,000 on your first attempt is pretty ambitious. So to establish whether you are the Wolf of Wall Street or Mr. Beans of selling, check out this delta matrix that I've put together. If you're wondering, a delta is a triangle in ancient Latin, and it's how I teach everybody through this concept. So at the top of this delta, you've got the Wolf of Wall Street, and then at the bottom of this delta, you have Mr. Bean. And what triangulates this delta together is how much knowledge have you got and experience? What sort of transferable skills do you have? Have you done sales in a different industry before? And what is your social proof? So what you want to do is you want to take each of these, and from 0 to 10, you want to score yourself where you lie at this. So again, going back over this, if we look at knowledge, have you got a lot of knowledge in the industry? Because when you show up on a sales call, the more knowledgeable you are, the more confident you are, the more easier that is to make the sale. So score yourself from 0 to 10. Where do you score on this? Same again, what is the transferable skills you've got? As I said, if you've been in a sales situation and other skills that transfer over to a call, even if you've never sold a property deal before, how do you score on 0 to 10 on this? And then the other one is social proof. If you've got social proof, and I mean documented online. So if you have sold a lot of deals, you've done a lot of deals for yourself, score yourself from 0 to 10, because a lot of selling on calls get done before you get on the call. So the lead up to it, if you send them through the correct funnel and the correct marketing campaign, so if they're seeing your social media, Google done a study called ZERMA, Zero Moment of Truth, and basically what they said is the average person needs 11 touch points over 4 different locations over 7 hours to build enough trust to buy from you. So if you've got social media with lots of information and lots of social proof in the information, and you've got a good sales funnel, so before they book on a call with you, that you take them through this sales funnel and this sales process, and then you send them out emails and stuff like this, your social media, your sales funnel, your emails and your reminders, all these classes different locations, and all these will build up and build towards the 7 hours of trust that somebody needs to spend with you. So then if you've done this correctly and you jump on a call and you take them through the right cadence on the call, where you have a good discovery to identify where all their pain points are, where their goals are, and everything correctly, you will overcome the objection before you get to that. And then the final thing that you want to score yourself on 0 to 10, and we're going to put this in the middle, we're going to put courage, confidence and conviction. How good are you? How confident are you? Because everybody starts at a different start point. It really bugs me when people come and say, hey, if I can do it, so can you. That is total BS. Because Usain Bolt run under 10 seconds doesn't mean I could. But again, if you put Usain Bolt in a swimming pool, he's not going to be a 3-time Olympian. So again, it's finding out what your skills are and your natural skills. Everybody can become a better salespeople, but some people have got natural abilities and natural traits in their personality and DNA that makes them a better closer than others. So the closer you are to 10s on this and to this side of the equation, the quicker you are to being able to sell a deal. But that said, if you're 10 out of 10 on all of these, but you're low on this one here, then means you may have a bit more of an uphill battle, which is fine. It's just being aware of that and being realistic of where you are, because if you measure yourself against somebody that's really high on confidence, that will just destroy your own confidence, because it'll make you feel a little bit inferior, where you've got to measure apples for apples and pears for pears. So take Lisa as an example. Lisa wasn't that high on this one here, or this one here, but she had a quite underlining confidence in her, and the first deal she ever put out where she was high at this metric here, she actually sold her first deal. So the first sign you need to look out for is confidence. This is the biggest underlining influence on how you'll get results. But what if your confidence is lower than Mr. Bean's? Does this mean with practice you will become George Jordan Belfort and the Wolf of Wall Street? Absolutely not. But with practice, you will improve this skill, and it is an important skill for every business owner to understand, is marketing and sales. At one point, you will be able to outsource this if it's not your greatest skill, but you still need to understand how to do it yourself before you outsource it, because you won't know the difference between what is good and bad. Also, when you outsource this, people don't know you and your product well enough to be able to overcome the objections at the start. So you just need to do this yourself. I know it might be hard for some of you, but it is such an important thing. And the way you remedy this and overcome this is through repetition. And this is the hardest thing that most people have when they start out as a property deal sourcer. Again, what all the gurus don't tell you. The hard thing is finding investors when you don't have this track record or you don't have this social media following. Take Morgan. Morgan's just sold his first deal this week, and he had no major social media following. He has had no track record and no investors. He's absolutely new to this game. And the thing that enabled him to be able to do that was, cheeky little plug here, my academy. Because in my academy, I place you directly in front of investors. And the big win at the start of this is not selling deals. Morgan put out quite a few deals before he got that first one sold. But what I kept on reminding him and reinforcing into him is the value's in the learning, not in the selling at the start. If you sell, that's a bonus. Of course, you can get some money and return on your investment in joining the program. But the real lessons come from the data and the feedback and the implementation and the practice you'll get from it and the skill that you're crafting. So finding a program like mine that gives you direct access to practice this skill is super, super valuable for you. If you want to know about my program, by the way, the description's in the link. And look, all of these guys here, this is the amount of people they got in front of after posting their first deal. Sign number 2 is hesitation. So Michael Jordan, the famous basketball player, once famously quoted this. Can't remember off the top of my head, so I need to read it. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeeded. Just take a second and let that resonate. The ones in my academy that are getting the best results are the ones that put out a high repetition of deals, and they see it as a research and learning stage, not as in, hey, what a disaster, I put out a deal, one deal, spoke to one investor and I didn't sell it, I'm terrible, I'm Mr. Bean. 99% of people when they start out are not Wolf of Wall Street, and probably 90% of people will never ever be that. Wayne Gretzky, the famous ice hockey player, quoted this brilliant quote that you will miss 100% of shots that you never ever take. So here's the steps to fix these problems. Step 1 is repetition, and lots of repetition. Step 2 is more repetition and getting that feedback loop off the repetition and collecting the data. So when you have these calls, record these calls and go over it, watch back over them. It might be painful for you, but figure out the points. Where did I drop off? What question did I ask that really turned their whole energy and trust in me? Just go over it and repeat it and repeat it. And step 3 of overcoming this is resetting your expectations. It takes longer than most people think. Yes, you've got these odd Wolf of Wall Street people that get out there, sell their first deal and just smash it straight away. But the majority of people, it's going to take 12, 18, 24, maybe even 36 months before you start seeing consistent results. And this really surprises me, because many people will go to college or university for 4, 5 years to craft a skill just to get a job that pays them 3, 4K a month, and then maybe have to work up the career ladder to get to a job that might pay them 5, 6 grand a month, when you can spend a year to 36 months crafting a skill that can give you a business and allow you to live on your terms and pay you double the amount it would have took had you gone through the traditional route of education and corporate ladder. And you can often do this for a fraction of it. Like, I think university costs around 30 grand, and this is just socially accepted in people's heads. And then when people hear there's a program that you can join for like 3, 5, 10 grand, they go, oh wow, that's just way over the top, and it's a rip-off. It's just bonkers. But none of these sales skills will mean anything if you don't know how to go and find deals and get started. So watch this video here if you want to learn how to start being a deal sourcer with as little as £1,000.